I need you to stop scrolling for just a second, because what I'm about to tell you isn't just another piece of NFL news. It's a moment that could redefine an entire franchise. You can feel it in the air around Cleveland right now. Something electric, something heavy, the kind of energy that only comes when the ground underneath a team shifts all at once. This isn't the type of story that will be forgotten by Monday morning. This is the kind of headline that gets remembered, replayed, and argued about for years. The Browns didn't just make a decision tonight, they lit a fuse that could explode across the entire league. I've been glued to this Browns team since the earliest days of training camp, watching every rep like a hawk, listening for every whisper that might hint at what was coming. And tonight it happened. Cleveland just flipped the quarterback depth chart upside down. Joe Flacco, the veteran, the steady hand, the guy who's been there and done that, is heading to the bench. Dillon Gabriel, who's been intriguing as a mobile, high-upside prospect, is inactive. And here's the bombshell. Shedeur Sanders is officially the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Let that sink in. Shedeur Sanders, rookie phenom, lightning rod for hype and criticism alike, a kid who has been under the harshest spotlight since he first picked up a football, is now the face of this offense. He didn't just inherit the position. He earned it through composure, awareness, and a cannon of an arm that screams franchise cornerstone. I can still see those preseason snaps in my head, the way he stepped into the pocket like he'd been there for a decade, the way he read the field with calm precision, and the way the ball leapt out of his hand with a velocity that made even veteran defenders take notice. From the very beginning, there was something different about him, something inevitable. And now Kevin Stefanski is making it official, and he's not choosing a quiet moment to do it. He's sending Shedeur into the fire at Lambeau Field, one of the most iconic and intimidating stages in all of football, against a Green Bay Packers defense that's known for disguises, pressure, and swagger. This isn't some casual experiment. This isn't desperation. This is a calculated, fearless decision at a critical stretch of the season. Week 3 is when NFL teams stop tinkering and start becoming who they truly are. And with this move, the Browns are screaming their identity to the world. They're done being cautious. They're done waiting. They're putting the wheel directly into the hands of the future. Imagine it. Lambeau draped in history. The banners swaying in the crisp September air. Packers fans roaring with that unique, bone-chilling Wisconsin energy. And through that noise, through that pressure, walks Shedeur Sanders, a rookie with the weight of a city on his shoulders and the eyes of the league fixed on his every move. Cleveland isn't hoping for a spark. They're demanding one. Flacco gave them stability, but stability doesn't deliver parades down Euclid Avenue. Serviceable quarterbacks don't get their names etched into Super Bowl rings. Dillon Gabriel is promising, but promise is for tomorrow. The Browns are choosing today. The Packers' defense will come at Shedeur with everything they've got. Exotic blitz packages, disguised coverage shells, trap plays designed to bait a rookie into mistakes. They're going to test his vision, his timing, his confidence. But here's the thing. Pressure has always been Shedeur's constant companion. He's been under the brightest lights since his college days. He's faced national television scrutiny, rival fan bases chanting his name for the wrong reasons, and critics dissecting every throw. And every single time, when the moment threatened to swallow him whole, he's flipped the script. That's what separates the good quarterbacks from the great ones, not avoiding pressure, but thriving in it. So now, Browns fans, here we are. The Shedeur Sanders era isn't a rumor whispered in training camp or a debate on a talk show. It's not a someday conversation. It's real. It's official. And it starts this Sunday at Lambeau Field. Smash that like button if you're riding with Shedeur. Let me know in the comments, do you believe he can walk into one of the NFL's most storied stadiums and shock the league on his very first start? And listen, if this video hits 2,000 likes, I'm calling it now. We're manifesting a Browns victory over the Packers. Let's make it happen. As if that bombshell wasn't enough to send shockwaves through the league, Cleveland wasn't done making headlines. The Browns front office pulled off a move that reaches deeper than statistics or highlight reels. They convinced Garrett, the heartbeat of this team, the nightmare of every opposing quarterback, the name circled on every offensive coordinator's whiteboard, to withdraw his trade request and commit to a 4-year, $160 million extension. That's not just a contract. That's a love letter to a city and a declaration of intent. It's the Browns saying, Miles, you're not just our best defender, you're our identity. You're the cornerstone we build everything else around. We're not just paying you to rush the passer. We're paying you to lead us into the future. Garrett's presence isn't about sacks alone. It's about culture. It's about swagger. It's about planting the Browns' flag in the middle of the AFC and daring anyone to move it. But there's a twist hiding inside this deal, a promise that could shape the entire trajectory of the franchise. To secure Garrett's signature, the front office made a pledge. They would bring in a proven veteran quarterback to push this team into full win-now mode. That one line in a negotiation meeting shifts the balance of power. It means every offensive snap from here on out carries extra weight. It means every evaluation of Joe Flacco, every glance at Dillon Gabriel, and every ounce of trust in Shedeur Sanders becomes magnified. Right now, Flacco is the bridge, the battle-tested Super Bowl champion, the man who's been there before. But if he falters, if the offense sputters, the Browns can't afford patience. Behind him waits Dillon Gabriel, a mobile, playmaking spark plug for the future, and the rookie who just got the keys to the kingdom, Shedeur Sanders. This is bigger than one game, bigger than one season. The Browns are standing at a crossroads tonight, and this moment will be replayed in highlight packages and documentaries for years to come. In a few seasons, we'll look back and either say, that was the night Cleveland turned the corner, or that was the gamble that cost them everything. Kevin Stefanski has pushed his chips to the center of the table. The Browns' identity, their future, and maybe even their legacy are on the line. So here's my question for you. One Browns fans have been waiting to answer for decades. Did Stefanski just make the move that saves this franchise, or the one that risks it all? Can Shedeur Sanders walk into Lambeau Field and not just survive the moment, but seize it, own it, and announce himself to the world? Drop your thoughts below. Smash that like button if you're ready to ride with this team through every high and low. And subscribe, because whatever happens next, you and we're on this roller coaster together. The Cleveland Browns just turned their season into must-watch football, and the NFL is about to find out exactly what Shedeur Sanders is made of. I need you to feel the weight of this moment with me, Browns fans. This isn't just another early season talking point that we'll forget by next week. This is a turning point, a knife-edge moment where everything Cleveland has been building could either ignite or crumble. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders first. He may have been a fifth-round pick on paper, but bloodlines like his carry a history that every football fan in America recognizes. That name isn't whispered, it echoes. You can practically feel the potential radiating off him, his raw arm strength, the calm in his pocket presence, the way he carries himself as though the game was made for him. If the Browns nurture him correctly, the ceiling isn't just high, it's somewhere in the stratosphere. And yet, that very potential hangs over this locker room like storm cloud. Because as long as Joe Flacco keeps the Browns competitive, Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel remain shadows on the sideline. But the second the offense sputters, the instant the scoreboard starts flashing zeros, those whispers will turn into roars. Cleveland will demand change, and the noise will be impossible to ignore. And then there's Myles Garrett, standing dead center in this brewing storm. Garrett isn't here to endure another rebuild dressed up as progress. People close to him don't mince words. He wants to win now. He's been loyal through chaos, patient through mediocrity, and he signed on again with the belief that this franchise would give him a real shot at a Lombardi trophy while he's in his prime. If the Browns are forced to roll out Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders before they're truly ready, Garrett's trust could fracture in a way that would shake the very foundation of this team. You can almost hear it in his post-game comments. There's only so much waiting a superstar can do. This is a tightrope stretched over shark-infested waters, and the AFC North doesn't forgive stumbles. The Browns don't have extra draft picks tucked away or free agents waiting in the wings. They've spent their assets, they've made their bets, and now there's no safety net. If Flacco falters, there's no easy fix. Suddenly, those rookies aren't long-term projects, they're the present reality. And this division is brutal. Joe Burrow slicing defenses apart with surgical precision, Lamar Jackson turning broken plays into miracles, and the Steelers perpetually reloading, always dangerous. One bad week, one mistake too many, and your season evaporates before October. That's why training camp and preseason weren't casual tune-ups this year. They were pressure cookers. Every snap mattered. Flacco had to show he still had the mental edge and the physical tools to survive in this league. Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders weren't just auditioning for the future, they were showing Cleveland what could be waiting if disaster strikes. And through it all, Myles Garrett was the heartbeat of the locker room, demanding urgency, reminding everyone that someday isn't acceptable. He's seen someday too many times before, and he knows someday doesn't hang banners. And then Wednesday landed like a punch to the gut. Joel Bitonio, 33 years old, the Iron Man of the offensive line, the quiet pillar who has kept this offense standing for nearly a decade, was suddenly gone from practice with a back injury. This isn't just a name on an injury report. This is the kind of news that makes the entire fan base hold its breath. Bitonio has been there through losing seasons and coaching carousels. He has played hurt, fought through chaos, and stayed loyal when plenty of others might have packed their bags. He came back this year because he said he wanted to play meaningful football in December and January. Now, in September, his back is betraying him, and the Browns are already 0-2. The symbolism is crushing. Without Bitonio, the dominoes fall fast. The run game, already sputtering, collapses entirely. The pass protection frays. And looming on the horizon is Micah Parsons, now wearing Packers green and hunting quarterbacks like it's personal. He's already got one. 5 sacks this season. And if a backup lineman is all that stands between him and Joe Flacco's blind side, that's not a mismatch. That's a nightmare that could wreck Cleveland Sunday before halftime. Quinton Judkins had that one dazzling 31-yard burst against Baltimore, but outside of that, the run game has been a whisper. Dillon Sampson was electric in Week 1 and invisible in Week 2. Jerome Ford hasn't cracked 40 yards. Without holes to run through and without veteran leadership in the trenches, this backfield feels shackled before the ball is even snapped. The frustration is real, and you can feel it in every corner of this city. 8 straight losses stretching back before Thanksgiving. A 41-7 humiliation at the hands of the Ravens that left Cleveland radio hosts seething and fans openly questioning the organization's direction. And then there's Garrett, one of the best defenders on the planet, telling reporters that what he saw on the field was embarrassing. That's not spin. That's raw honesty from a superstar who's sick of wasting his prime. Yet, even in the rubble, there are glimmers of hope. Dillon Gabriel, written off all camp due to injuries and overshadowed by the hype around Shedeur Sanders, stepped onto the field in garbage time against Baltimore and played like the moment wasn't too big. He moved the offense methodically, read the field with calm precision, and capped the drive with a touchdown to Dillon Sampson. It didn't move the needle on the scoreboard, but it moved something in the locker room. It moved something in the fan base. It said, maybe the future isn't as far away as we thought. And Harold Fannin Jr.? The rookie tight end is quietly building a resume, 12 catches for 111 yards in just 2 games. Judkins, Gabriel, Fannin, these rookies aren't just depth pieces. They're the seeds of something new. But seeds don't grow without fertile ground. They need Joel Bitonio's stability. They need veteran leadership. They need a locker room that still believes. That's why this Sunday against the Packers isn't just another box score waiting to be filled. It's a reckoning. If Bitonio can't go, if Flacco spends the afternoon picking himself up off the turf, if the running backs keep getting swallowed at the line, this offense could break before October even arrives. The Browns don't just need Bitonio's body on the field, they need what he symbolizes: toughness, loyalty, hope, and the belief that this franchise still knows how to fight. So I'm asking you, Cleveland, do you trust Joe Flacco to steady the ship? Are you ready to see Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders take their shot if the veteran falters? And what about Myles Garrett? Do you see him as just a defensive star, or is he the man who now holds the organization accountable to its promises? Smash that like button. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe so you don't miss a single twist. Because whatever happens next, whether this season becomes the redemption arc Cleveland has been starving for or another chapter in a book of heartbreak, we're going through it together, side by side, as Browns Nation. Go Browns!